We open over planet Earth. Down on this planet, above a continent, is a small island where we can see that the darkness has covered London with clouds, and it is raining. It's pouring. There's nobody out in the streets, and the gaslight lamps are just barely kept on by their covers. Lightning strikes as we see in a window on the cobbled street a light come on, and we see a man hunched over a desk now with a quill, writing furiously. Another lightning strike and a loud crack of thunder that does not seem to end, as instead the thunder fades and we are met with a scream down an alleyway, but nobody hears. London is dangerous this time of night, friends. And we're going to go ahead and cut away from that dreary scene as... I'm going to go ahead and roll a die to pick one of you first. 4 of you, so D4 will suffice me, I think. 1, why don't we go ahead... Jelly, why don't you tell us the moment that your character gets pulled from their original timeline is? What they're doing, etc.
As Richard wakes up screaming, he starts to feel for the hole in his chest that is no longer there. And he starts panicking a little bit. It's an unfamiliar scene, and he feels like he just got pulled from water. And then he looks around, and he doesn't know where he is, but he knows he needs to adapt. And soon.
Yes, you sort of find yourself. It is raining. You are protected from the rain by a canopy over whatever poor shop front you've landed in front of. There are people inside. They seem to be having coffee or booze or something. And it seems warm in there, but otherwise, there's nobody out in the streets save for a few cops standing by an alleyway. Seem to be guarding it from something.
I'm going to just look at the alleyway, look at the cops, look inside, and just stand where I am and just hope that something bad does not happen.
Well, cops aren't really a preventative measure. Their presence would indicate something bad is already
absolutely
happened.
Not. Yeah.
But we'll pan away from that.
He just hopes something. Yeah.
Go ahead.
He just hopes something bad doesn't happen to him.
Totally fair. And we'll go ahead and pan away. Flurp, where do we find your character? What do they look like, etc.? The whole spiel shtick.
One of the gas lamps explodes, and it's an impossibly large explosion for a gas lamp. It nearly reaches the walls of the buildings around, and falling from this explosion is a person whose gender you cannot tell, whose skin is pinkish gray, like meat that's been left on the counter too long. The rain sizzles as it hits Nick's skin and runs off with black soot to stain the ground below. Nay has bits of coal jutting out from Nick's skin all over, most of which are now have little flames burning off of them. And it's probably not wearing terribly much clothing, though it's what is there is very much scorched.
You're sort of overwhelmed by the sound of sizzling as rain hits your skin, and you find yourself in a new place. Richard, something bad has just occurred. A gas lamp has just exploded nearby, and you are met with a sight unlike. Actually, I don't know, did Richard see anything untoward in his original timeline? Anything unnatural? Wow.
Yes.
This is just Tuesday for you then, isn't it?
Yeah.
And one more detail. The word "ugh" is inscribed on Nick's forehead in burning letters that look like embers of a fire that is dying.
So what? Pan away from that sight. Garish, how do we find your character on this
Great question.
rainy London street?
There's a lots of small alleyways in London, and you just see this figure look wholly just combobulated stuff just stumble out of one of the alleyways. She kind of straightens her hat, get her flannel shirt kind of. Well, this isn't quite what I was expecting. This looks like some old stuff. And she's just kind of going up and touching the walls of the surrounding buildings. And you said it was raining, right?
It is raining. Yep.
Yeah, so she kind of adjusts her hat a bit to kind of help keep the rain out of her face. She's a larger built woman, very, very, I think I called it well endowed. And she wears a trucker hat. She has a long flannel shirt and wears jeans with large kind of construction working boots, looking very out of place in this London street.
And despite the bits of metal occasionally appearing on the street, the pole of the gas lamp and the doorknobs, this place seems very Stone Age-esque to you.
There's nothing that is salvageable here. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know how I got here. I need to find. I don't even have my little Walkman with me. I'm very upset right now.
Very upsetting indeed. So we pull to our final character. How do we find Sawyer?
I think we find Sawyer in a very different state or situation, at least, than everyone else, because Sawyer wakes up with his head on a table next to a bottle. And he is disoriented and confused as he registers that he's sitting in the middle of a bar. And he realizes that he should not be here. The last thing he remembers, but it must have been a nightmare or something, but he was being actively torn apart while fighting in his Pegasus mech. And he was not meant to survive. He knew the mission and he knew the costs and he knew what he was willing to do. But now he's at this table and he's not in dissimilar clothes, but the vibrant, futuristic build of his jacket is now muted and faded in color. And he's outside of his mech, and that is wrong. As is the dog-like creature sitting beside him, resting its head on his leg. And he automatically reaches down to pet their head and says, "That's a girl, Whiskey." And then looks around, realizes if he's here, he needs to do something, and goes to leave.
You go and leave the bar, and you see three equally inexplicable figures on the street. All of them disoriented as all get out. Before one of the policemen nods over to the four of you. Oi! You the four the inspector what warned us about?
Inspector?
Yes.
Inspector
Probably
Lestrade.
not.
Lestrade, is that what you said?
Lestrade.
Oh, Lestrade. Sorry, I didn't catch that there was an accent going on there.
Lumpin pulls out a piece of paper and scans it. Not on the naughty list. Not this bit, anyway.
Okay, that's good to know, I suppose. Lestrade said to expect four inexplicably out of place individuals. Save for this one, and gestures over to Richard. Only a little bit out of place. Maybe American, are you?
You can say that.
Said that you guys would be able to help with the case.
Case, do you need something transported or picked up?
No, a case solved, like a murder case. A series of murder cases, really. But Lestrade doesn't have time for inexplicable murders, so he said he would send 4 inexplicable investigators.
I don't know who this Lestrade person is, but I'm not really an investigator. If you need a case carried somewhere, I can do that. Maybe, I don't know. Do you have a large truck that I can use to transport this case?
We've got caravan wagons. What?
What's the fuel like the carry weight of this caravan wagon thing?
Depends how much a horse can pull, I suppose. But you don't need to carry anything anywhere.
A horse?
Yes.
Didn't those die out a long time ago?
He said
It
you
would
would be
appear
weird.
not.
He said you would be weird, but he didn't say that you would be this weird.
I mean, I think you're being a little weird saying that it was known that 4 inexplicable people would appear at this inexplicable time in this inexplicable place to solve an inexplicable murder.
That's a lot of inexplicableness.
I was.
I'm used to a lot of inexplicability, but this is a bit much even for me.
I don't question Inspector Lestrade. I just assign caseloads to his clientele.
Are we getting paid for this?
Lestrade said that he would contact you regarding your payment at some point during the investigation. But I am to take requests, as it were, for payment desires to ship off to Lestrade while you work.
I'll do it.
Anyone? Okay, sure. What would you like in exchange? Lestrade seems to believe he can get anything, so
Safe
go
and home.
nuts. I'm absolutely sure he could put you up somewhere.
You say it gets you anywhere, but like, can you see? I was in like a desert place, and I had this. It wasn't powered by a horse, mind you. Like there were gears and how to explain this, because apparently I don't think y'all have machines here. It went. Do you have trains? Is trains still a thing?
Yes,
Or did
the
those
train
go
comes
die-
by every half hour.
Okay, so it's like a train, but it can walk and it doesn't need tracks. And it carries a lot of stuff. And it's much bigger than a train. Anyway, I had a group of friends. I'm not real. One of them, like he was like, kind of like a father figure to me. He really encouraged my music taste. Have you heard of a band, like maybe they're from around this era? A band called Weezer.
No, I'm afraid that I have not heard of a band called Weezer.
Oh, well, they're they're a really old band, and like they have some really good songs, and we used to jam out to them all the time.
Well,
Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. I don't think you can get me back. I don't think this Lestrade can get me back to where I'm supposed to be, is what I'm saying.
well, Lestrade pulled you here.
You have a slight wheeze in your voice. Maybe there's lots of wheezers around.
I think they're a
Well,
band. I don't
it's-
think that's because they wheeze. They have beautiful that lead singer Rivers, I think his name is. Like he has a beautiful singing voice, like an angel.
All right. If you're interested in music, the bar has gotten Longfellows to play tonight. Just like a nice little, working band.
I mean, I am a working woman. I guess I could go for a working band.
Right, yeah. So about the job that we're offering you.
Oh, right. There's a job. Not carrying a case.
Right, solving a case.
I don't know how much help I'm going to be honest.
Everyone's got their capacities, Lestrade says.
I mean, sure, I'll do it if you think you can get me home. I don't know. Well,
Is that all you want?
I'll think about that.
Okay, sure. What about you two?
I'm not used to payment being paid. It's not how things are done where I'm from.
That's how we do things here. Do a good job, you get paid, you go home, you're done.
Yeah, back home, we just gave things out. Also based on whether you did a good or bad job, I suppose. I think just being among the people will be payment enough.
Right, the people you're going to be among aren't exactly living, breathing people. Again, this is a murder case.
You don't breathe?
No, we breathe. Okay. You're going to be looking at dead people and figuring out how they died so you can catch the killer for us. Yeah?
Yeah. We do know what a murder investigation is.
Right, so what would you like in exchange for your help?
That's the question.
I can circle back to you if this gentleman would have the better idea.
Lumpin will gesture towards Sawyer.
I think the payment that I would be looking for is to get to meet this Lestrade face to face. I'm interested in learning more about someone who is capable of bringing such an eclectic group of people together.
Make headway on the case. You will certainly get to meet Lestrade. He checks in on all of his cases every now and then, working all over the world, that one. But if you've all agreed and you decide on a payment,
Poverty. That's the payment I would like.
you would like to be impoverished?
Yes.
Why?
So we'll reach over and break off a piece of coal from Nick's skin. The poor see this as a gift, not a curse.
You just pull that out of you, huh?
Did you just pull your skin up? Are you okay?
Yeah. My people grow coal from our bodies. Would you
Okay.
like some coal?
Who are they offered it to?
Offered to you.
Oh, I mean, coal's very useful. I mean, you can use it fire. There seems to be fires here, so she'll take it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It doesn't hurt. Anytime you need fuel, I can. You asked about fuel earlier. I can provide.
I'm sure that'll come in right in handy.
When you meet Lestrade later, you're going to probably have to explain that one to him. I don't think I understand what you say, to be quite frank, but, just doing my job. Okay, so if you could follow me down this alley, I will explain the job to you and let you get to work. You'll be operating under a sort of diplomatic immunity, as the government would like to call it. Feel free to operate at your discretion to figure out what's going on. We have been experiencing a series of murders. Gruesome, grotesque, horrible murders, entirely without the means of possibility here in London. There's an author who writes murder mysteries. And the murders are always supernatural in some capacity. Now, we don't have much experience with supernatural outside of Lestrade's gift, let's say. So these murders should, for all intents and purposes, never happen, right? And yet, they occur.
Are you saying that the writer is writing about the murders and then the murders happen? Because if that's the case, it would seem to me that the problem is with the writer.
We thought so too, except we monitored him for weeks and nothing. Plus, not to mention, he's human so far as we can tell. He's not left his house in some time. And again, the murders he's inventing are relatively supernatural.
Supernatural how?
Well, the woman you're about to see has been murdered and stuffed with straw. It is as though in an instant all of her innards were replaced with, like, scarecrow straw. Hay. But the issue is, there are no entry wounds.
Well, maybe they just stuffed it in their mouth or some other orifices.
Autopsy shows that their organs and their everything have been replaced with straw stitches of replicas.
Are you sure they're the real bodies then, and you're not just looking at some dummies?
Everybody who has died has inexplicably disappeared afterwards, so we have to be at least a little certain that that's what we're looking at.
Replicas? Like somebody wove a liver out of straw
yes.
and lungs? That's more than just stuffing them.
I think it's just a dummy. I think maybe these people are just running away and leaving dummies, and you're looking at dummies.
Well, this isn't the only murder that's occurred.
Were they all stuffed with straw?
No. Example, one of them drained entirely of blood.
Well, that there's a vampire. I don't know what to tell you about that, but
We thought vampire, but there are no puncture wounds.
what kind of murders do y'all normally have that your first thought is vampires?
Oh, we have vampires. Vampires are normal.
You know, can I
Okay,
just go home now?
Could you give us a list of what is normal?
Vampires, werewolves, most American folk tales, to my understanding. But you can never know with them. They invented a Bigfoot.
Oh,
To be fair, that predated the country. Okay.
I'm not referring to the country specifically, just to that region of the planet where those, phenomenon are being experienced.
is
Here
Paul
it's
Bunyan
like
real?
Paul. Excuse me.
Paul Bunyan, the big old lumberjack lived in
I
America.
don't know actually.
Okay, well, you seem to be very knowledgeable about your folklore, so I thought maybe you know.
Do you happen to know where the author's house is?
Yeah, absolutely. Just a couple streets that way. Big. The HOA despises this man. It's all painted black up the front, and the gas lamps are always off, and well, the shutters are barred.
Would you say that he wanted it painted black? Is that what you're
He
saying?
painted it black himself.
Maybe he saw it as red first. White door. Was it white originally or red?
The
That's
door was
black.
originally blue, as with the rest of the street. They were sort of built in tandem as a new neighborhood. Again, the HOA has been filing complaints for months, but
I
the
think
mayor's-
I'm making references that you're not understanding. It's fine. It's another folklore song I used to listen to.
Do you color code all of your neighborhoods like that?
just the ones that have an HOA upon construction.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, the mayor's caught up in a bit of a scandal as well. He's been caught engaging in, well, let's just say, less than legal activities, and so has been unable to respond to the HOA's complaints regarding the author's house.
There seems like there's a lot happening here. Can we see the body?
Yeah, he takes you down the alley. There's a cordoned off area, police tape crossing and spanning the streets. And you see in the center of this little dead end of the alleyway, there is a young woman splayed out, and crime scene investigator has sort of begun an in-field autopsy. We're doing sort of a live thing. We don't let anyone back unless they're authorized. We're only doing it here because when we picked her up to move her, they noticed that she was far too light for a woman of her size. Also, the morgue is
Well, that
full.
seems like a personal assumption that you shouldn't be making about folks and their weight.
Well, okay, no, yes, I see what you're saying, but she was like 2 pounds, maybe.
That does sound unhealthy. You're right.
She doesn't look 2 pounds. And you see, there she is. There is straw, as though her organs had been replaced with straw hatching.
Say they've done the autopsy. Have they already cut her open, or
Yeah.
Okay?
Not a pretty sight, but
Is there blood?
no.
I think Lumpin will just walk over to the body and squat down and start poking through it to see if Nay can find any clues.
Yeah, you using a particular ability, or you just using a skill?
Study, just study was what I was
absolutely.
thinking.
You can use study, sure thing.
Sweet.
And this is a dice pool system. You're going to roll whatever your pips are plus 1. because you get a base of
Plus one.
1d6.
That's right. I don't think I want to spend stress this early, even in a one shot. 5.
A 5 is sitting on a mixed success. So yeah, you sort of begin to sift through the straw here and try to sort of get a look at it. And Lumpy, the first thing that you would notice is that this straw is, what's the best way to put this? Familiar. This is
Familiar?
exactly the same kind of straw that your coworkers make toys with. Back when that was, the standard for constructing like dolls and
Yeah.
various things. Obviously, you don't use straw anymore, but this was stocked in your warehouse. This exact kind of straw.
This is elven straw.
Sorry, it's what?
Elven straw.
What is an
What
elven?
what the elves used to use to make dolls. Haven't seen it in a while. We've mostly moved to cloth and things of that nature.
Oh, okay.
I think I remember one kid wanted to be a doctor, got a doll just like this with all the organs all woven. Come to think of it. But then decided to experiment on the cat and ended up getting a piece of my body.
I think at that the policeman just goes, "I think you guys can handle this," and turns and walks away.
Well, it seems like we no longer need a supervisor.
How's
You never
everyone doing?
did.
It's so warm here for elves. They generally like it much colder. In the no doubt freezing London rain.
Yeah. Would anyone else like to do anything in the crime
So
scene?
you said that this is elven straw. Where do y'all get that? Like, you're from the North Pole, right?
Yeah.
Where do you get the straw from?
Underground farms.
Oh, that makes sense. I guess it's warmer.
Yeah. And the sun inside the earth helps it grow.
I'm sorry, the what?
The sun inside the earth.
I have so many. I have so many questions about what you just said, but I think we're just going to have to accept that this is where things stand.
You're right. We do have a murder case to solve and not carry. Billie Jean would like to go over and look at the body.
Absolutely. Would you like to give me a study roll?
Sure. I don't know what that is, but I will do it.
So on your character sheet, it's one of your attributes.
Got it.
Under
Yeah.
insight. You're gonna roll that many pips plus 1.
Cool. I roll 1.
Do you have no pips in study?
I have no pips.
Okay, so what you're gonna do instead is, because you're not trained in it, you're gonna roll 2d6 and you're gonna tell me the lower number.
Cool.
And remember, you do have like 40 million euro points.
Okay, well, I rolled a 5 and a 6.
Okay. A 5,
take a 5.
is, yes, you would take a 5 for that one. Yeah, no, this is a human body, or it was before its insides got replaced with straw. Insofar as you could tell, just from sort of studying the area that the body's fallen, you can at least discern that she was physically attacked. Delightful.
Okay. And can she, like, without disturbing the body too much, can she, like, investigate, like, or, like, get a closer look at, like, I don't know, a lung or something?
Yeah. You sort of poke at the lung a little bit. It's straw, so it gives easily, but the more you sort of investigate that, it is accurately stitched. So the inside of the lung is made up of a bunch of little straw stitched airbags, essentially.
So these are like when you because I think I was envisioning something different. So they're like completely made out of straw. It's not like here's a heart that's like a canvas bag or whatever that's filled with straw.
Nope. Someone has used straw to weave accurate models of organs.
The artistry is amazing.
Richard Sawyer, you guys doing anything?
Weird. Richard's seen some weird occult shit in the past. He knows some weird occult shit is probably going on here.
Mhm.
I have ghost voice.
Sure. What is ghost?
Does that do anything? Let's see. Secret method to interact with the ghost or demon as if it were a normal human. Gain potency when communicating with the supernatural.
Sure. You can go ahead and say if you would like to see if there's a ghost nearby, you can roll a hunt roll if you want. And then from there you can use your ghost
Cool.
voice.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Thank you. I have 1 pip in there. That's awesome.
So you roll 2d6.
I got a 4.
Would you like to
Wait,
use
no,
again?
highest is a 5.
Highest
Highest
is what
is a
we're
5.
after.
Okay.
Yeah, you sort of begin to glance about as you investigate, and you can definitely sense a presence left here. What do you say to it?
Hello there. How are you doing?
It doesn't say anything back, but it does sort of pass over you. And it gives you a sense of being upset. This ghost is not particularly pleased at the moment.
We're going to help you.
They're a little curious now. And they want to help you help her. So you're going to get just like a flash of an image of a man with a goatee, slicked black hair, and a doctor's coat. Before that image goes away and the sense that there's a ghost here fades.
Do I have a general idea of what the face looks like? Like, would I recognize it if I saw it, or was it just a goatee?
You just see the basic traits
would
that
be
we
like
describe. He was like
All right.
like a Robert Downey Jr. type goatee. I'll give you that much, but you did not see a face. Not the whole thing, anyway.
Okay. Okay. We need to ask what this looks like.
Sawyer?
Sawyer has always had an eye for attention to detail, and so he is less interested in the body in this moment, especially since Billie Jean and Lumpin seem to have that under control. So he's going to be looking at the rest of the alleyway to see if there's anything that stands out to him that would give any further explanation to what is happening here.
Absolutely. So go ahead and make me a survey roll if you want. I can hear rationale for other skills.
Could I argue a study?
Yeah.
Okay. Then that'll be a 5.
A 5. Delightful. Beautiful. No notes on a 5. Yeah. You sort of look around the area, you get a sense of the sequence of actions that happened here. She seemed to have been walking to a door at the end of the alley based on what you can discern from how her body's face, the direction her body is facing. And you can see that some of the crates and boxes back here were disturbed when whoever attacked her leapt out at her. Her shoe scuffed the brick and she fell when she was attacked. And I guess what sort of equipment does Sawyer keep on himself from when he's not in his Pegasus?
Not that much. He pretty much only held on to a pair of guns and some blades as well.
Okay. Yeah. This it seems to you, just from what you can discern, that whoever attacked her was waiting for her here. And was waiting for her specifically. And yeah, the boxes are disturbed, but there's no way to know when he arrived but just based on the information that you have, it would seem that she was ambushed while trying to get home.
And is that where she was heading? Like, is the door that she was going for
It's
a
like an
residence?
apartment complex, yeah.
What is there any information on the crates themselves, like names or anything like that?
Yeah, these are shipping crates for the London Food Co-op. And if you crack them open to look at them, you see that there are salt preserved chunks of like corn and cuts of meat in there.
And I think you just kind of see Sawyer like walking through those motions, like trying to recreate the scene as much as he can to understand the pieces he is getting of what happened. And he turns back to the others and says, "This wasn't a crime of opportunity. Whoever did this was waiting for her."
Her specifically or anyone?
Her specifically.
Who were you?
That seems to make
I don't have all the pieces, but what are you finding there?
As I said, it's elven straw. The artistry is beautiful. GM, would there be any chance that I might know of the elves who were really well known for their artistry with straw? Like had a good reputation?
I mean, there was sort of just like an entire department of them who were meant to work with straw and were trained specifically. You would know that one of the foremen of the workshop was particularly well known for his work. And then he had a few apprentices who were equally as renowned for their work as well. But I mean, as far as you can tell, they have no reason to be down here if they do exist in this world or timeline. But
do you have his name, by the way, GM?
sure.
Every GM's favorite question from a player.
Yeah, 1 second. Martin O'Reilly.
It could be the work of O'Reilly or one of his apprentices. They were the ones the height of skill with straw, but this doesn't smell like the same earth. I don't know if they're here or not.
I was going to say it would seem like quite the coincidence if they were, but there seem like there's a lot of coincidences piling up.
Agreed. Richard, you said something about finding out what the author looks like.
Yes. I don't know how I did it, but there was somebody here. Somebody lingering that's not physically here anymore. And I spoke with them. They gave me an image, just the broadest, most odd, surrealist paintbrush of an image. But I at least know at least a little bit. Goatee, slicked back hair, and a doctor's coat. That's what we have.
How tall were they?
No idea. I didn't even get a face. Just a couple of features.
Actually, and we'll turn to Sawyer. You said you could figure out that they were hiding. Can you tell how tall they were, the attacker?
Hey, GM, can I gauge that?
So the way these boxes are stacked, you would have to know that they're at least 5'9" for one of the Krites to have fallen the way it did. Maybe taller.
I would estimate. Okay. I would estimate about 5'9", maybe a bit taller. I agree with Richard. I think we should speak with the author. It seems unlikely the author is completely removed from this if they are writing about murders that then happen.
Agreed. And that's far too tall for an elf.
And that at least is one possible suspect we can cross off the list.
Of course.
Thousands.
Do you think there are thousands of elves here?
No. I'm surprised there are any.
You guys make your way to the home of the author, the famed Arthur Arcturian. You find yourself on a bright, happy street. Despite the rain, somehow, each house cheerier than the last. There are decorations up in windows, and about halfway down the street, there is naught but a dull void of a black front-painted house with barred windows and a black door. You see no lights on inside except for the gas lamps that sit in front of the home. And the stones are wet with rain, almost wetter here in a cinematic sense. You knock on the door, and a disgruntled gentleman, disheveled brown hair and long unkempt beard, a natural hunch in the back, and a nightgown and a small candle being held with a quill in the other hand, just sort of twiddling it in his fingers. Can I help you?
You are Arthur Arcturian, right?
Who's asking?
There's been a murder. Another one.
I told the police that I do not know anything.
Well, we know it's not you.
Okay. They know that too.
Do you know of anybody that has black hair, lab coat, doctor's coat, goatee, maybe?
You're in London. There are maybe 100 people who match that description. Not even 100 doctors. Some of them are actors. But I never
So,
believed in
like,
actors.
5? Is there like 5 doctors in this town?
There are at least 20 doctors in the city of London. I would say about 5 of them match that description.
Lumpin's going to look at the scrap of the nice list that Nay carries around to see if Arthur Arcturian's name is in.
No.
Didn't think it would be. How many of these murders have there
Arthur.
been, Eric?
Do you mean to ask how many I have written, or how many have been committed?
Both.
I have written 7 murder mysteries in the last year, 4 of which have been committed. Inexplicable, isn't it? What a nightmare my life is. Do you understand what it's like to write stories that become real? It's bad. It's bad for business.
You could stop writing.
I can't.
Just to put that out there. Like physically you can't, or like emotionally you can't.
How to explain passion to a cop? Have you ever been so
I'm not a cop.
overcome?
Not a cop.
Then why are you here? What?
Don't worry about it. Anyways,
I'm sorry.
what were you saying about passion?
It's filled with ideas, and everything compels me to write. You understand? And if I write, I may as well publish. And if I publish, then I'm going to make an earning on my own passion is something hundreds of thousands of people never get to experience in their lives. But me, I have been given a gift. And that gift has been squandered into a curse by some wayward, inexplicable god who hates me.
You didn't make any deals with like a demon or anything like that? Met
No,
someone at the
for that you
crossroads
want
and
to
just,
talk to Faust.
Got it. His murders aren't happening though, so we're not going to worry about that for the moment. Just one last question from me. Have these murders happened before or after you've sold the books?
It all happened after the books have hit the shelves. But up until now, my works were very popular. They were flying off. Fast as lightning, those. But I haven't
So-
seen a pound or pence for days about it, have I? No.
So, like, what you're saying is, so how many books have you sold?
At least 20,000 copies in the city of London alone.
So, what you're saying is our pool of suspects is 20,000. That's a lot of people to go talk to.
Do you know any elves, Mr. Arcturian?
I do. A dentist.
I was unaware that any had moved this far south.
Well, this
You-
one. Big ideas.
Big ideas seems to be the theme of the conversation. Can you direct us to this dentist?
His dental office just part of the city near the tower. Clock Tower, Bend.
We shall have to visit them. It would be good to see someone from the homeland. In your book, do you base any characters on this dentist?
What am I, Shakespeare? What am I, Marlowe? No, I am not a hack. My ideas are original. They come to me inexplicably in the night. And I wake up and I write as furiously as I can until I'm done, and I send it to my editor, and it is done. I'm good after that. The itch goes away.
The straw man murder in your book. Who committed it?
He's some crazed straw man devil of some kind, called forth by the hubris of an actress.
There was this murder, and then there was the vampiric murder. But there
Not
were
a
two
vampire.
others used. Not a vampire.
No, sort of a blood to energy type murder. Some grand schema of underlings of the underworld working to collect blood and convert it to energy for inexplicable magical power cells with which to power light itself.
I'm sorry, are you talking about light bulbs?
I don't know what that is.
You were saying that. Right, I forgot. So it's like a candle, but it's in a bulb, and it's powered kind of like trains, but not. It's using electricity.
What's
They don't
electricity?
You know, lightning. Do you have lightning here?
I've been struck by lightning 4 times.
Then you've been hit by electricity. Maybe that's what you. Maybe why your brain's kind of weird and making it itchy.
I don't think that that's correct.
I don't know.
Are
You
you
didn't
sure
know
it's
what
not
electricity
premonition?
was.
What was that, Richard?
Are you sure it's not premonition?
Don't be ridiculous. Premonition isn't real.
Oh, but vampires and Paul Bunyan are.
Who's
But
Paul
these
Bunyan?
murders
Yes.
are happening.
How can you
But
say
yet
that
these murders
premonition
that are
isn't
happening.
real?
I didn't know they would happen when I wrote them.
What were the other two
You don't know-
murders?
Well, the first one was how do I explain this? It was like a parasite, but it was bigger than a normal parasite would get, and that's sort of how they replicate themselves is laying an egg in a person until the egg is ready to hatch. And then the second
I
one
hate that.
was a slow transformation into stone, almost. Not solid, just a casing long enough to suffocate them.
Are you writing anything else currently?
Yes.
What tell us more. What are you writing?
I've had this wonderful idea of taking the energy powered battery thing from the blood story and then expanding upon that into metal men. And so the victim in this one that will be solved by our inexplicable protagonist is that he has been sort of integrated into metal armor permanently, and has become more logical and purpose serving.
That doesn't necessarily sound like a murder, though it does sound.
But it is in the sense of the self, right? Losing oneself to the ever cold logic of steel.
Purpose serving.
As you say. All right, so it seems like if we're going to stop another murder, we have to stop someone from integrating with the robotic shell.
If you're going to follow my murders chronologically, like this killer seems to be doing, the next one is they will be tied to a chair on the railing of the clock tower, and then when the hands strike 6 tonight, the rope holding the chair to the balcony will pluck, and they will fall.
Seems quite contrived.
But it's not a murder mystery unless it's contrived.
Which clock tower? You have lots of clock towers here.
The big one at the center of town.
Well, excuse me, I'm not from around here, obviously. I don't use the word inexplicitly in every sentence.
You noticed that, huh?
Yes, I've heard that word more times than I've ever heard it in the past.
It's an
Hour?
inexplicable town. It's the whole town's catchphrase. London, inexplicably British.
Pretty sure London being British is pretty explicable.
No, the city was never supposed to be here.
We don't have time to unpack all of that. Out of curiosity, what time is it?
It's about 4 p.m.
Seems like we should scout out that clock tower, see what's going on over there.
Yep.
Yes. And perhaps talk to that dentist, who's also near the clock tower, if I recall what was said.
Really, a good dentist.
Elves are good at what they do. It's kind of their whole thing.
Is murdering like something that y'all or the elves learn or something? Are they all good at murdering?
I imagine metaphysically, if an elf turned to murder, they might the being good at what you do might click in. But there's not been any record of an elf even on the naughty list, let alone murdering.
Can you see if this? I guess you don't. Do we know the elf's name?
His name is Hermie.
Look up in your book. Don't you have a book? List.
It is a scrap of the nice list, is all.
Oh.
Is Hermie's name on the nice list? On the scrap of nice list?
Right at the top, Hermie the Elf DDS.
Huh. It would seem to rule them out. And we'll hold it up and point to it.
Speaking of inexplicable, that is inexplicable.
Santa works in mysterious ways.
You guys move away from Arthur Arcturian's home, and he calls out to you one last time. There is, of course, the distinct possibility that I've mixed up my books here. The clock tower might be after the next one, which is dynamite factory explosion on a rainy day. But it's always rainy here, so that's probably never going to happen. But
how do you not know the order of your own books?
After number 4 is about when I got lost in it.
And that was when the murder started.
Yes.
Were you struck by lightning in that time?
Yes. How did you know?
Lucky guess.
So where do you guys head?
Seems like the clock tower, yeah.
I mean, because if Hermie's on the nice list, unless your list updates there, then I wouldn't assume he's the murderer.
No, but now I'm concerned about the dynamite factory and what might be happening there. It seems like we have 2 potential locations for the next murder.
Well, there's 4 of us and 2 locations, and if I remember my mathing good, you take 4 and divide it, and that's 2. So 2 of us could go to the clock tower, and 2 of us could go to the dynamite factory. Because how many dynamite factories do you think they have in London?
1.
An inexplicable number.
An inexplicable number of dynamite factories. 1.
Does anybody know where it is?
Is there somebody walking on the street that we can describe? Where's the dynamite factory?
Yeah, you grab a young girl with a school bag. You ask her where the dynamite factory is, and she points the way. She points you away from the center of town, sort of on the outskirts of London. This dynamite factory sits.
So I feel like we're gonna have to either split up, or we're gonna have to choose one or the other. They seem a bit too far from each other to visit both before ding dong goes the bell.
You do have time before the clock tower murder, technically. The clock tower murder does have to take place at 6 because that's when the hour hand sits low enough to cut the rope.
Yeah, but They have slow ass carriages here. I have to walk from one end to the other. Do you see this fat ass walking very fast? No. Anyway, that's just Billie Jean's point.
So we're splitting up then.
Unless y'all don't want to, I'm okay. That was just my idea.
I mean, I don't like it, but it's solid logic. If we have 2 murders to prevent, or at least 2 locations these murders could happen in, yeah, I think we should send 2 of us to one place and 2 of us to the other. I'm guessing none of you have comm devices or anything like that.
No.
No, they're rolling.
No walkie-talkies, no nothing.
No.
What I thought.
You?
Okay. So yeah, that means, and like you see Sawyer kind of just like feeling around and then just being like, "No, I don't either." Seems like that was left.
Comm
my
device is
Pegasus.
not gonna help really.
Absolutely delightful. That's what I was hoping you'd do. And that seems like a delightful place for us to take a goofy little break so that my players can contemplate the choices that they've just made. And I can start using some of these villain points that people have so generously donated to me.
Absolutely not, JT. Absolutely not.
So we're gonna go on break. We're gonna give our players a chance to stretch their legs, get some water, refill their drinkies, and get situated for the back half of this nightmare fest that I have planned for them, in the least threatening way possible. Thank you all so much for watching. We will see you in about 10 to 15 minutes. Stick around, get some food, have a good time. LC will take us out, whatever. Hello.
Okay, but what if we kissed in the dynamite factory?
If you kiss, you explode.
But no, what if we kiss while the dynamite is exploding behind us?
This is a no kissing game. It's a murder mystery. There can be no romance. There's never
Every
been
murder
romance.
mystery needs kissing.
That's not true.
Correct.
I can't believe that you guys would take my beautiful work and sully it with sin.
Have you met us?
Premarital smooching.
Right?
Have I met
Premarital smooching.
illegal?
Premarital kissing. Premarital hand-holding.
No.
It'll
I
probably
mean,
even
that is
have
the
characters
basis
who
of the
aren't male
season
or
of Secrets
female.
and Shadows.
Excuse you, Octavia's never kissed anyone ever and has never held a hand.
I know.
And it's not
Yes.
gonna happen, so stop getting your hopes up. Welcome back.
Bet.
We're doing a murder mystery tonight. Our
kissing.
characters have been pulled by Inspector Lestrade of the British Armed Forces to solve murder mystery novels, it would appear. And they have just been informed that the 2 murders remaining are Clock Tower murder and Dynamite Factory explosion. One of them is arguably more urgent than the other. However, our characters have decided to split up. Lumpin and Billie Jean will be going to the Dynamite Factory in a brilliant stroke of genius by my players. And Richard and Sawyer will be going to the Clock Tower to investigate and look for clues. So I think we'll start with Richard and Sawyer. You guys make it to the town square. The big clock tower is ticking loudly up above. And people are milling about, going about their day. Nothing seems particularly out of ordinary. You see there is a dentist office run by Hermie the Elf DDS. Among other things, there is a small clinic here. There's a bakery, and then there are people touring the clock tower, taking pictures, etc.
Richard, you said you talked to something in the alleyway earlier. You think you could do that again?
Maybe. I can try.
Yeah, if you want.
Was that what you did before? Did you
Yeah.
talk to ghosts or something?
Yeah, I don't know how that developed, but apparently it did.
If you'd like to roll me a hunt roll.
All right. They're both 5s.
2 5s. Not a critical 5. You can't have a critical partial success, unfortunately. But, Richard, you sort of reach out and feel out for ghosts. Not really finding much of anything. Nobody has died here yet. You imagine that if you wait for the murder to occur, you could, but at the moment, there aren't really any ghosts or spirits lingering around.
I got nothing. At least not yet. Hopefully we won't have any.
Yeah, that would be preferable. I'm not entirely clear also on what happens if we don't stop the murder beyond the fact that we don't stop a murder, which is a problem. But I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that we're here. I'm not supposed to be here. Like, alive.
Me neither. Same boat.
It's weird, right?
Yeah. Yeah. While we're having this conversation, I'm just like generally looking upwards to see if there's anything going on like on the clock tower faces.
It took you guys a bit to get here. The clock is currently striking 5 at the moment. And you would imagine now is around when your friends would get here, but you don't see anyone up there. You don't see any activity up there, no guards or anything, but there are people around. And far as you know, this is exactly the kind of witnesses that the book would have for this sort of murder.
Seems like we should go on up.
Yep. Let's head inside.
You guys go inside the clock tower. There's a stairwell leading up to this sort of platform where the mechanisms are accessed by any maintenance people that need to do work on the tower. You don't see anyone at current, but you imagine they would be up there or in some sort of side room at the top where they're relaxing and working. You begin to make your way up. I think now would be a good time to use a villain point, right? We like villain points being used here. Here on the
I
Lost
mean, that
Caravan.
feels so unnecessary, but I guess if you have to.
I do. I really do have to.
At the clock tower, leaving the dynamite factory free.
That's
For
true. Yeah,
30
use
villain
all of your
points.
villain points on us.
Yeah. So you guys are, I'll say, about halfway up. Let's see. Okay. When you'll notice just from the stone wall on the side, a pair of hands, gloved hands, reach through, and so we are going to go to grab you. If you would like to maybe roll me perhaps a finesse or skirmish.
Cool, things that I have no tips in. This
Oh,
is fine.
Boy.
I can help.
That's a shame, because that was a 6 and a 2, and that means that's a 2.
Delightful. Would you like to use a hero point?
Would Richard be able to help?
Mhm.
The most Richard's gonna do here is add a dice to the thing, but that's not going to increase JD's odds of success technically. Because
can
it's
do
gonna
that.
be the lowest.
JD can always do that and also take 2 stress to add another die.
But
I'll
if
say-
they
I'll
have to
say if
take
you
the
wanna-
lower one.
If you want to push yourself, Richard's help will eliminate the inherent disadvantage of this attack.
Is this being supernatural?
Supernatural is one way to put it.
I'm wondering if my pet, my ghost hunter, would help with that.
What does your ghost hunter do?
It gains potency when tracking or fighting the supernatural.
Ah,
And in this case, I have a mind link with it. And so I'm wondering if I could ask Whiskey to bite the arm that is grabbing me.
sure. Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and re-roll that? And Whiskey's going to give you a potency, and Richard's help is going to eliminate disadvantage. So you're just going to tell me the high number.
That is a 6.
That's better than a 2.
That is much better than a 2.
You see these arms come out to grab you. Richard, you're able to pull Sawyer out of the way, and Whiskey's able to sort of interpose here, bites the gloved hand. It sounds very real because you hear flesh get gnawed as the hands sort of pull back, and Whiskey is pulled with the hands.
I don't like that. Sawyer tries to reach through the wall to grab Whiskey.
Yeah, your hand beats a solid wall.
This is a problem. This is certainly a problem. Richard, how do walls just disappear? Like, how did they turn insubstantial and then resubstantial? You seem like someone who might understand this.
There's a bunch of old occult shit from where I was. It never talked about walls becoming insubstantial, but it talked about people being able to become insubstantial.
I need to find my dog. We need to stop a murder.
Yep.
There's a lot of items being added to this list.
As you say that, I'm going to spend another villain point. I need both of you to make finesse, or I'll say prowl. Prowl is also on the table. Checks as these
I would
stairs,
like that.
these wooden constructed stairs with absolutely no indication that they have a mechanical property at all, turn and turn into a slide.
I got both 5s. Okay.
That's good. Fives is
That's
good.
another 6, baby.
Okay, that's good and cool. You guys are able to sort of keep your footing as the stairs turn into a slide, and you're able to sort of make your way up to the next level platform.
Feel like we should have asked for the pages of the book, because maybe that would explain what is happening right now. That would have been a good idea.
Yeah. It would have been. But you know what? We're in it now.
Did you guys hear a scream from above you? As you
Oh,
see, first you hear Whiskey barking at this figure, a cloaked figure in a doctor's cloak, and then leather gloves and a golden mask. Are pulling a young woman onto the clock balcony. What do you guys do?
At least one of us needs to go up there quickly, and one of us needs to sneak up behind him.
I can be the distraction,
Good.
but I'm also a good shot, so if you want me to wait in the shadows, I can do that too.
I could be the distraction. Go. Hide.
Okay. JD Sawyer, why don't you go ahead and roll me a prowl? And then Richard, I'll have you roll me a command or a sway to distract.
I'll use sway because that's my highest one.
Yay.
That is a 5.
I got a 3. Fuck me.
That's okay. You could use a hero point.
I will actually. I did donate points earlier for like the next roll, the next hero roll. Question mark. So
Sure.
do I get to re-roll that? All of them or just one?
It adds 1 to your roll, so you can add a
Cool.
die and roll.
4. It's still bad, but it's not as bad.
That's a partial success. Which I will say equals out with JD's partial success. As Richard, you step out onto the balcony, this guy, whoever he is, already done. The chair is tied on the edge of the balcony to a metal cable that is tied to the clock, and the hand is slowly making its way down. You see, they see you, and they also sort of turn like they hear something behind them, but they don't do anything. As they reach into their cloak and they whip out what appears to be an electrified. It looks kind of like a cattle prod, but you're not sure. Sawyer, you've seen this before. This is one of the tools used in where you're from to impact matter in a pre-coded way. It's essentially an alchemy rod, which I'm making up. It's not a thing in Lancer, but I'm allowed to say it is because I'm in charge.
I respect this.
And we're gonna cut away quick to a dynamite factory. Lumpin and Billie Jean.
So anyway, they're. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
She was just going to be rambling on and on. So if you had something else to say.
I was just going to say that while we're walking to the dynamite factory, Lumpin wants to pop into a bookstore and buy the book with the dynamite factory murder.
Cool. What money do you use to buy it?
Probably just pull it off the shelf and leave a piece of coal on the counter and walk out.
You do hear someone behind you going, "Hey, hey, hey!"
It's fine. He's on the nice list. Or he's on the nice list.
What?
I'm not actually. I scratched my name off, put it on the naughty list.
Well, then that's even more better.
Is it?
I mean, if you just stole a book, that way you're not going from the nice list to the naughty list because you're already on the naughty list.
Your logic does seem inexplicably impeccable.
Man, we're all inexplicable today. I don't even know what that word means, but, it's a nice big word.
Yeah, I agree. The other two seem to have adjusted to this world better than us.
Maybe they're from, I don't know. Like, when are you from this time? Like, because I don't think I'm from this time.
The big man travels around the world giving gifts to billions of children in 12 hours of night.
Right, but is that like Victorian or Edwardian or Technordian time, or is this like
Our
We're-
relationship with time is different.
Okay. So I don't see how they can survive without like just running things with horses, but yet they have clocks. So why aren't they using the clocks? And like I assume they're using steam power, I guess, for the train. So why aren't they doing that to make like better road trains or whatever?
I don't know. I think they like the idea of setting down tracks that they then have to follow. It
That's
seems
stupid.
culturally significant to them.
Well, that's stupid. Like, how are you supposed to go scavenge for things? How are you supposed to? I mean, I guess if something breaks down, you know where it's going to be because it's on that track over there.
That does seem like a good explication.
You guys
That takes all
arrive
the fun out of it.
at a chain fence. Inside this chain fence is a factory clearly labeled dynamite. Caution, no open flames, no smoking, the whole shebang. Almost cartoonishly advertised. You would wager. But the gate has a chain around it. The chain has been cut, and the gate is ajar when you arrive.
Look, we don't even have to open the gate. It's already open for us.
This does seem suspicious.
Suspicious, yes, but also nice that we don't have to open it ourselves. Because
Far be it,
Yeah.
far be it from me to reject a gift given.
I got you because you give out gifts. I got it.
I am the gift.
Oh, you are the gift. Aren't you gifts? Well, that's right. You get the coal. You get the coal. I mean,
Yes.
I would gladly take coal for Christmas or the holidays or
Crack.
whatever.
Have another piece.
Oh, thank you. So, are we supposed to blow this place up? Is that what we're trying? No, we're trying to avoid it, I guess. Well, what if nobody's in here? Then can we blow it up?
I don't know if the goal is to blow it up. It just seems, looking down at my possibly still embery coal hands, likely.
Yeah. Okay, well, what if we get everybody out and then we blow it up? Then they think that they murdered somebody, but they didn't murder it. And how are they? I guess, was it only the one person that was straw, or was all of them straw?
No, they were all different.
Oh, I wasn't paying that much attention. I just got hung up on why they thought that dummy was a person.
It was wearing skin.
That's right. I guess it could have been you know what? It's fine. I told you I'm not an investigator. I don't know why this Lestrade person thought I would be a good person to help solve a mystery. I mean, last thing I remember, I was locked in my cockpit. So, and it was getting very hot in there.
It was getting very hot where I was as well. Maybe explosions are what sent us here.
Maybe Forge is here somewhere. Do you know somebody named Forge?
I don't think so.
In the very distant back of your head, Billie Jean, you hear just a gentle.
He's always with me. He's my Forge angel.
Is that why you're so keen to blow up this dynamite factory? Because you think it will send us to another world?
I didn't, but now I do. I just like blowing stuff up. It's very the way, everything kind of just goes flying everywhere. It creates kind of like an artwork, like because it's never the same thing. Like every explosion's different. It has like, if you blow up, say, a barrel of water, the water sprays out, some of it evaporates and creates steam, and that's really pretty, but that's vastly different than if you blow up a crate of fish. You know, there you have wooden bits and you have fish bits flying everywhere. That's very different than a barrel of water.
Wouldn't the fish be in water?
No, not if it's a crate of water.
You guys hear a
It's a
gunshot
crate
right
of
now.
fish. Oh, right, murder. Was it aimed towards us or was it like a distant gunshot?
It was in the factory from within.
You know, maybe we should go investigate that.
You move through the dynamite yard, the factory yard. Eerily quiet after the gunshot, as though all operations ceased when a gunshot was heard.
So was it operating? Could we tell if it was operating like while we're sitting there talking?
It sounded like there were people working here, but now you're moving through. You don't see anybody.
Okay.
And you get to the factory door, is also ajar. You sort of move in. The machinery has stopped. There is just loose gunpowder on the belts. And there are stacks upon stacks of crates of dynamite out in the central chamber of this factory. And sitting atop them, a person in a golden mask with a doctor's coat and leather gloves, holding a 6-shooter.
I'm trying to decide if that's the person we're looking for or that's like, I assume that's the person we're looking for. They want to give their victim a gun.
Richard did mention a doctor's coat. No golden mask, though.
No gun either.
No, Richard left out the gun. Do you think he did it on purpose?
I don't know. Is he on the naughty or not nice list?
I just have this one scrap of nice list. Is Richard's name on the nice list?
Well, at least he's not in that part of the nice list. How are they pointing the gun at us specifically or just kind of holding it?
Doing little gun tricks with it.
Well, that's a mighty fancy looking gun you got there. And a pretty mask. That's a real mighty pretty mask you got there.
The two of you walk in and approach, and they sort of look down at you. They stop spinning the gun. It is just pointed up at the moment. Interesting. I wasn't expecting to get two. And you hear them flick their thumb, and you see there's a match taped to it. And it has been struck, and they just sort of move their hand down and light a fuse, and then flip off the back of the pile.
You know, maybe we need to not be here. You know, I'll explode things, but not when I'm right next to him. Maybe we should flip out of here. No, I'm not flipping anywhere, but let's go. She starts.
Yeah. You turn to leave. The door is closed and chained.
Damn it.
I'm spending villain points. To be clear to LC that I'm spending a villain point to do that.
Lumpin is going to actually follow the person and try to grapple them.
You round the pile and they are gone. Almost inexplicably.
All right.
Can I use a tune to find out if there's some sort of magic or supernatural thing going on?
Sure, absolutely.
That is 3 dice. Five.
What was that?
5.
5. One second. Sorry, I'm just looking. I want to make sure my sources is right. you hearken back to a quote by an Arthur C. Clarke from your world. You don't necessarily sense magic, but any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, and you're pretty sure you sense that.
Well, that's not good. We got to get out of here.
No shit, Sherlock. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna go up in flames, but you're gonna go up in bigger flames. All right. So what kind of windows does this factory have?
You know, like the basic, like the round factory windows with like the metal lining that sort of does like this circle around it, and then the little segments of the outer circle.
So
You got
she
those
carries,
like up in the top, like central chamber.
What is the door made out of?
Steel.
I have a large weapon with me, which thematically is a large wrench.
I will also remind the player there is a flashback mechanic if you feel you don't have adequate equipment for this. And the way that I'm working flashbacks for this game, chat and everyone, is you don't just have to flashback to your character. You can flashback to any Lost Caravan character that you've played. Should they have sufficient equipment?
Most of my characters are not highly equipped, but let me bring up my list because I don't remember who I played.
Yeah, I played Lumpin and a camp counselor.
Well, camp counselors are always prepared. Always be prepared.
Lumpin's gonna flip through the book. How do they escape in the book?
They don't. This is a murder.
Ew. This is the murder.
This is the murder.
Die.
You have been made into the victims.
Man, did you think Sawyer and the other one that can't, Richard, do you think they sent us here on purpose? They knew we were going to be the victims.
It's quite possible, I think. Richard knows things somehow.
Fuck Richard. Not really, if you were really nice, Richard. Not really, but if you did send me here on purpose, then fuck you. But if not, then I won't haunt you.
Oh, can I name my ritual?
Yeah.
I want my ritual to make a giant snowman grow from the ground. And it's weird, because I also have to mention how it's weird, because inside every snowflake can be seen a reflection of the moments that you regret in your life. Everyone sees something different.
Yeah. Do you want to make me a study roll real quick to knock that out in a heat of moment?
But I was hoping this to be the one ritual I start with for free.
Oh, no, you're
But I
still
can make
it free. Yeah, that's fine. Absolutely. Yeah, it starts to snow, Billie Jean. I
just start crying and then grabbing the tear, like shoveling the tears off my face, and they become the snowman, giant snowman, right next to the diamond.
Yeah. Big old snowman right in the middle. Carrot and all.
Billie Jean is not touched. Like, I don't think that's gonna help. But what do I know? All right, so you said they're like a padlock holding the chain on there. I would like to mark 2 stress and do a flashback.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you flashing back to?
I'm flashing back to my Orbital Blues character, Quinn. She was a crack shot, and so she always had a pistol with her, and she actually during the campaign she actually acquired a pistol that like did more like damage and was like fiery and stuff. So we're going to use that pistol to break open the thing. Do you want me to like have a little scene of Quinn, or how do you want me to do that?
You can have as much or as little detail as you want for your flashbacks.
So Quinn may have made the mistake of practicing with bullets inside of a spaceship. It's fine. She didn't break the hull. It's fine. But everybody kind of got a little miffed at her. Hal came and yelled at her. Made her a little sad. It's fine. But yeah, this gun had more oomph to it. It had more firepower, but the drawback was that when the shell popped out, they hit you and did you damage too. But I would like to use that pistol to get rid of that padlock.
Make a skirmish roll.
Skirmish. But I'm not good at skirmishing. I'm good at wrecking shit.
You have wreck.
I do have wreck.
I'll let you wreck. I don't see why this can't be a wreck roll.
We get as many dice as I have pips plus one?
Yep.
Okay, so I get 4.
While Billie Jean... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I was just asking, do I take the highest or do I add them?
Take the highest.
5.
Okay. Yeah, you break the lock. The snowman is sufficient enough to put out the fuse, I'll say. If I'm
knock it over.
Yep. It falls onto the dynamite, and you guys are free to go. I need everyone who is not from this world to go ahead and make me an attune roll, we'll say.
Oh, good. I'm good at that.
Why? Why, JT? Why?
You'll see. You'll find out. You'll find
Out
out.
of this world. Which is like all of us,
Well,
I feel like.
Well, I got a 2.
You have 0 points.
I'm going to
Yeah,
mark
I'll
2
do
stress.
that.
You're going to push yourself?
I'm going to push myself.
Okay.
I got a 4.
Dub 6, baby.
Critical
Crit
success.
success.
All of you feel, as one murder is prevented, your connection to this reality snap just a little bit. Those of you who rolled a failure will take 3 stress automatically. And you may mark a trauma as well. I'll go ahead and say unstable will be your trauma. And then those of you who rolled a partial success will mark 2 stress automatically. Lumpin, I will say you only have to make 1 stress for pushing yourself on a critical success. Out of the kindness of my heart.
You're so kind.
I know. Thank you. But yeah, you guys are you do this Spider-Verse glitch. You're not of this world. And Sawyer and Richard, you will also see the golden masked man also does keel over a little bit before intentionally tumbling over the side. As they plummet, you see 2 metallic wings come from their back, and they flip over and they glide off. As we're cutting back to you, you are mere seconds away from this woman being cut free of living.
Remind me, JT, what exactly does this setup look like?
So, you got the clock face with the hands. There's a metal cable on the 6 that goes out to the railing of the balcony, and on the other side of the railing, a chair is balanced leaning over the edge so that when the cable gets cut, the chair will fall.
I would like to shoot the mechanisms of the clock to make it stop working.
Or if you want to make me a skirmish roll, maybe.
I would love to do that.
Little sharpshooter fella.
That's 6, baby.
I love that. Yeah, you begin shooting at the clock gears, and you do knock some of them loose so that they aren't turning anymore. And Richard, you'll see the clock hands stop, but nothing happens. Not like last time. And you two would know somehow that the first murder was prevented.
This doesn't make sense.
What in the world is going on?
I mean, someone was about to get murdered. That is a bad thing, and the world got really weird there for a moment, like weirder than it had been, but this didn't make it weird.
That's I'm just like looking at the woman like in the chair, like from above, and I'm like, how the hell do I get her up here?
You can just pull her back up. Like she's attached to the
All right.
clock, so as long as it's not ticking, she's perfectly fine. If you just grab the chair and pull it over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
You
gonna.
you pull her back over the railing. You get her untied, and she thanks you profusely. And Richard, go ahead and make me a finesse roll.
Uh-oh. Oh no, I don't.
She pulls out a bronze knife.
Oh great. I got a 4.
Yeah, you dodge out of the way. She manages to nick you just a little bit, but not enough to damage you in any meaningful way. As reality glitches again around her to reveal another gold mask. What would you guys like to do?
I would like to disarm her by shooting her in the arm.
Oh, okay. So disarm her. Okay, yeah, sure. Go
I
ahead and
thought
make
you were
your
just gonna say, I want to disarm her by shooting her.
go ahead and make your
Stop.
skirmish roll.
Another 6.
Beautiful. You shoot her in the hand. She drops the knife. And she's just gonna go to tackle Richard.
I do have a gun, but I'm just gonna try and grab it. I'm also
Your
trying to
gun?
get out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and make a skirmish roll.
All right, cool. How many points do I have in that again? Okay, I get 2 dice and I take the highest. 6.
Absolutely. You managed to grab your gun and dive out of her way. It was clear that she was going to tackle you off of the edge of the clock tower. What do you do with your gun, Richard?
I'm gonna try and shoot. Unfortunately, I'm shooting for the knee.
Okay, sure. Go ahead and make a skirmish roll, or finesse, or whatever you want.
Skirmish, please. 6.
6 is delightful. Yeah, you put a bullet in her knee. She falls to her knees, and the golden mask falls off. And Sawyer, you see circuitry behind the mask.
I would like to shoot the mask.
Yeah. I won't even make you roll for it. You shoot the mask, it's a stationary object, and the mask breaks, and she passes out. And I need everyone to make me an attune check now.
Yeah. I still got 2.
You have hero points.
If we use a hero point and the second one is worse than the first one, can we take the first one?
I'll let you take whichever is higher. I'll let you use advantage rules on that.
I'll spend
I'll use my hero
point.
point then. I'll use 1.
5, a 4 from Billie Jean,
I got a 3.
and
Better
still a
than
2
2.
and a 3 from Sawyer and Richard. Okay. Sawyer and Richard, you know what to do. Take 3 stress. And then your
Yeah.
partial successes take 2 stress. You don't have to mark unstable a second time. That would be silly.
Would
What?
it?
It would be silly, I think.
As a
Would it be
reminder,
inexplicable?
No.
as a reminder, like what happens when you fill your stress bar? Just out of curiosity.
That's an excellent question. Maybe you'll find out.
Mine. Okay, mine's not full, but it's kind of getting close.
Nice. When you mark your last stress box, you suffer a level of trauma. And when you have all your trauma conditions filled, I think is when you either give up or die.
Okay. So once you fill up the stress once, does it go back down, or do you just get trauma?
It resets.
Okay. All right.
But in the meantime, the 2 of you that escaped, you are met with a gentleman. Short brown hair, clearly dressed in the British armed garb. Hello. I believe you two are 2 of my 4 investigators.
Is this to Billie Jean and I or Richard and Sawyer?
Billie Jean and Lumpen.
Or invest. Oh, are you Mr. Lestrade?
Inspector Lestrade.
Inspector Lestrade.
Close enough. Yes.
You're the one who chose us.
You chose, called, asked for. It's up to interpretation. I will explain
That
all of
makes
this.
no sense why you called me here, because I'm not an investigator. I'd much rather blow this place up, and then nobody can use it as a killing ground, right?
Except had you attempted to do that, you would have died. I needed 4 variables here. I will explain it all. We have to go get your other 2 friends, hoping that they've
hold
survived.
on. Before we go, I thought of what I wanted, because I didn't tell your little lackey? I don't know how you pronounce that word. Lackey, yeah. I couldn't think of a good thing, but I thought of figured out.
Okay.
I would like. She pulls out this crumpled piece of paper that somehow she is like written on in the probably while they're walking or when they're getting the book or whatever. I want a happy ending, not that kind. For Forge and me, like, because my last memories of us aren't great. So
yes,
I'd like
no,
us to be safe and sound and happy, but not that kind of happy. You know
I think I pulled all
I mean?
4 of you from moments prior to death or some horrible injury or other event. I could do that for you. I don't know
Maybe
that I'm allowed
you-
to.
Maybe you and this Forge could move to Beverly Hills. I think I heard a song about that once.
Oh, Weezer did a really good song of that. Yeah, it's one of their good folk songs. I mean, Forge did remind me of Buddy Holly a little bit. I mean, kind of a crazy looking Buddy Holly, I guess, but
Right.
Would
I'm
that-
going to go get your friends before I discuss the payment. You've provided me with plenty of data. And Inspector Lestrade will lead you to the square, whereas
data.
Sawyer and Richard, you guys exit the clock tower. You see your 2 friends, with who you can only assume to be the very same inspector who hired you.
We got here very fast.
Inexplicably so, yes?
You don't sound like an inspector.
Well, inspector, cultist, hyper aware of extraneous realities and their impacts on our own.
Did you know that you're a character in a book?
Which book?
Sherlock Holmes. Book's not even
yes.
about you.
This is this reality is a little different. I know I'm a character in a book, yes.
I shouldn't be surprised that you seem very okay with that.
My character in a book?
No, you're a character in something. All of you are. But hardly the point.
What?
This timeline, this reality, is sort of an epicenter for trouble, let's say. I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of caricatures live here. And a lot of what may be considered supernatural things to you exist here as well. We have vampires, werewolves, the whole shebang.
Paul Bunyan.
People made of coal.
I do believe Paul Bunyan's made his way here, yes. People made of coal, I think that is your reality specific, but we do have elves. They just mine for coal here, I'm afraid.
Ooh, that sounds painful.
Oh, it is for the elves, absolutely, but they get paid, so not a huge deal. Now, with regards to your payment, you particularly vex me. You want to be impoverished?
Yes.
Why?
Because I want to know what it's like to treat the bits of me as treasured presents. And I want to understand what happens when you're constantly told that the thing you wish for Christmas is a punishment.
Okay. I suppose I can put that in line with, and he will turn to Richard, with your wish for payment. You wish for home and safety?
Yes.
I can offer you both places here in New London.
Are you able to take me back to old home?
Not without sending you back to your original timeline and fate, I'm afraid. But since you're a character, I can allow you to stay and make you native to this reality.
Take it.
And you, Lumber?
It appears to be the only thing in my stocking.
Well, I'm sure I could find another equally impoverished reality, but this is about as yours adjacent as you're going to get, I'm afraid. Santa is not a common occurrence in most timelines, if you can believe it.
Yeah, I have spent time with him off duty. I can believe it.
Now, as for you, Sawyer, you just wanted to meet me.
I did. I wanted to meet the man who could pull 4 different people, or as you said, characters, from 4 different realities and bring them here, and I wanted to know why. And I especially would like to know why me. I accepted my fate. Yet
Well, that's
here
just it, isn't
I
it?
am.
Stories have 2 kinds of endings. Happy endings and bad ones. The 4 of you, I'm afraid, didn't get a happy one. Now, if the circumstances were not such that the entire multiverse was in danger and your endings wouldn't have happened at all, I wouldn't have been able to pull you here, but you might have ended up here anyway. This is the bad ending side of town, not the happy ending one.
Do you think? Well,
That
I
tracks.
guess Forge's ending wasn't very happy either. So is Forge somewhere here?
Once Forge is returned to his timeline, he will be sent here. As of current, he's being borrowed.
So
Borrowed?
Yes.
you divide the city in half, and one half is good and one half is bad?
No. Good heavens, no. This entire planet is the bad ending planet. Now, that doesn't mean the planet's bad. It just means it's filled with people and characters who didn't get a good ending.
So can you just blast off this planet and go to a different planet?
It's taking a while, but we're making our way to allowing rocket travel.
Right, because all you got is horses and trains on
Hey,
tracks.
don't knock on horses and trains. We get things done, don't we?
Apparently not solving your own mysteries.
That's what you're for. This is a mystery of not our reality, and so we need people of not our reality to solve it.
Variables, you said.
We haven't. Yeah. What exactly are we doing? Because we haven't solved anything. We stopped at least one murder from happening. I'm guessing you both did too, since I didn't hear an explosion and you're standing here right now.
Well, they
Oh.
kind of sounded like we were going to be the victims. Like, they were surprised that there was 2 of us, though. And then they did a really cool flip thing.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's not how that timeline was supposed to go at all, wasn't it? No, it's 2 variables. Change the future.
Does anybody else understand what he's talking about?
I think he's saying that free will exists because we're here.
No,
Are
I mean,
the only
free will
ones with
always
free will,
exists.
maybe?
It's sort of a deterministic state. I don't have time to go into all of it. You guys have to go catch the person who did all this so that I can send them from this reality and pay you.
There were people. They had gold masks with circuitry in it, but there were multiples. Because ours flew away, but then the victim we saved turned into
We
the new
did.
attacker.
We were the victims, but there was a gold mask fella, and he had a really cool gun, and he flipped it around and then flipped himself off of the crates.
And then disappeared.
Mm.
Right. The reason I'm here was to deliver a witness report. When that fella flew off the tower, apparently some eyewitnesses saw him land in the junkyard outside of town, so I was coming to grant you the lead.
I do like junkyards.
You're welcome to take whatever you like.
Could I have taken some dynamite?
Do you want a flashback to Dynamite?
I don't have enough. I do have enough stress, but I don't have enough stress. Sure, you
One
know what?
trauma.
Sure, why not? Yeah. So that does not fill up my stress, but yeah, I'll take. As they're leaving, they're getting ready to leave, and the doors are open and stuff. Billy grabs a couple of sticks and sticks them in her pocket. It's like, I might need these later. So when he says that you can take anything you want, she's just kind of like, okay, noted.
Right. Any more questions?
Oh,
Doesn't
yeah,
sound
I
like
did.
we have time for the ones I have.
Now, I just had a quick. You said it like we were important stuff, but why? Okay, like they seem really smart, and Nate looks like Lumpin. They have like really cool abilities and stuff, but why? Like, I'm a salvage truck driver. I don't know why I'm here solving a mystery.
Well, to be quite frank, I chose you for your skills and optimism. Maybe it's not apparent yet what you're going to be useful for, but everyone who gets pulled here is good for something.
Am I just bait? Was that what I was good for? Am I just bait?
No, just because your time hasn't come yet doesn't mean it's not going to.
And she'll just kind of whatever.
Anyone else? I'll give you one more. Okay. Go and catch a murderer. Please and thank you. On behalf of the British government, yes.
And
Is that supposed to be impressive?
No. We did stay
assume-
more in our lane in this reality, but that's because we're all bad end characters.
Sad. I assume he showed us or pointed out there's the junkyard over there kind of thing.
It's very clear. In fact, now that it's been pointed out to you, you all do sort of notice every lightning strike that has occurred during this storm has struck the junkyard.
Didn't the author say he was struck by lightning 4 times? Maybe he's been hanging out in the junkyard.
You did say that.
He did. And that's what
Good.
gave him that passion and inspiration.
You guys
Seems sus.
make your way to the junkyard. It takes you a while. A few more lightning strikes hit it, but you do find yourself to the entrance. Not really a fence or anything. Billie Jean, this looks like a slice of home to you. There are scrap metals and hunks of machine that are probably from stories long forgotten, broken down and empty here. You see a few things that you recognize here. You see the remnants of your mech, and you see the remnants of Forge's mech.
Oh, yeah. She's going to go park herself over there.
Sawyer, you also see a few mech parts from the Union that you recognize, and your Pegasus is not all here, but there are chunks of it.
Sawyer goes over to just rest his hand on those pieces and just says, "You were a good girl, Whiskey."
Your dog has rejoined you, by the way.
You're
Richard-
also a good girl, Whiskey.
Richard and Lumpin, you both find a book each. Richard, a book that you recognize from your reality. One of the books that caused all the shenanigans that you were stuck with, or at least detailing accounts of it. And Lumpin, you find chapter 1 of the naughty list.
This didn't see this since I wrote my name in it. Grab it, start flipping through it.
And you find the page with your name in it, clear as day.
Huh. Right. Inspector Lestrade. Is his name in here?
Yeah, at the very back.
I'll have to give him coal next time I see him.
You guys hear another lightning strike, maybe 100 feet into the junkyard, and you hear just this maniacal laughter.
All right,
get
are
the
we going to
feelings-
do it?
I'm
I get
ready
the
my
feeling
gun.
someone wants us to go over there.
Hmm.
Do we have to, though? I mean, so here's the thing. If we don't solve the mysteries and stuff, like, what's going to happen?
More people probably die.
But aren't they already dead? If this is the place where the people with bad endings go, where do you go after this?
Find out. And if
I mean, if anyone wants to sit this fight out, they can. I don't really want to force anyone to jump into this if you just want to live whatever life you're going to live.
I mean, I guess that's just food for thought, though. Like, if we don't solve these murders, yeah, I guess more people might die. Although that person has stopped. If they stop writing, then there's no more books to follow. But do we just stay here? Will Lestrade send us back? Anyway, back to death? I mean, it's almost like a catch-22 kind of thing. I mean,
you heard the man. Gonna try and set us up here.
yeah, but like, I don't mind making a new life in the places I'm in. It kind of drifted around a lot, but I had a crew back home, right? Like, and I hope to whatever is out there that they don't end up here, right? I mean,
Didn't the inspector imply that they had?
one of them did. I mean, I don't know. I guess I died, so who the fuck knows what happened after that? And just being characters in something kind of makes you, I don't know, think a little bit more about your place and everything.
I wonder what
But-
kind of story the author came from.
See, that's another thing. If there's an author writing stories for other story people, it makes sense that they'd be the one killing off people. Or at least behind it. I don't know. Lestrade asking for data was also very suspicious too.
Yes, and referring to us as variables.
Yeah, I don't like being part of a science experiment.
Join the club. You got a job to do.
Keep an eye out for how we can end the experiment, I suppose.
Yep.
Because even if we are
What?
characters, why can't we? Yeah. That's too much to think about, but yeah, I mean, free will and all that stuff that you're all talking about that I didn't understand because I was not paying attention.
You guys make your way into the junkyard a little bit. And you come to find, as you move through, that it is well guarded by people in golden masks and doctor's coats. They seem to be moving almost zombie-like. Weapons in hand, various blunt objects from around the junkyard. I'd like everyone to roll me a prowl roll if you intend to continue to sneak, or if anyone would like to do something to alleviate this plight.
Ooh, I have a point in prowl.
You say you had an idea, Richard?
Okay, who has the ability to make a distraction?
I can wreck stuff up if you need me to wreck stuff up.
I
Perfect.
have faint magic as well that can attract attention.
Yeah, I have I actually have Ghost Ward, which I can wreck an area with arcane substances and methods, so it is either whatever that word is, or enticing to spirits. I think it means make them go away. I also technically have like a bandolier with something in it. Grenades or something. I guess
What was your idea, Richard?
I need at least one of you two to make a distraction. Try to get them over somewhere else. Try to grab their attention while we run by.
so I guess who's the most sneakiest out of us? I'm not sneaky.
That would be me.
Hey, Lumpkin, you want to team up and be a distraction again?
This seems like it will be fun.
Because look what I got. And she pulls out some dynamite, the dynamite that she took earlier.
I'm starting to cry.
Can you call my phone?
All right, what do you guys do for your distraction?
You call my phone. Well, let's see. Billie Jean's plan, I mean, she's going to set off the dynamite somehow, but if we can make the dynamite set off like a bigger explosion the opposite way of wherever Sawyer and Richard are going, then that'd be great.
I have an idea. Is this the kind of junkyard that has the cars stacked up on top of each other?
Mm-hmm. Very much.
So you can use the dynamite to make a tower of cars fall.
And yeah, I don't know. She also has, I guess she just has, I didn't choose, I guess. Where my bandolier stuff? I don't know how many I get. Or whatever. But I do know that I have, we'll say I had for grenade. That makes sense for her to have a grenade. So she has the grenade. And 3 grenades. There we go. Yeah.
I think Lumpin is going to go off in another direction that's away from where Rich and Sawyer are, and cry the big giant snowman. And then for my, I forget what it was called, my arcane engineering special ability, I get 1 device from that for free. So I'm going to start pulling out a series of like brass tubes and make a musical instrument out of The Grinch That Stole Christmas, one of those like weird, crazy Seussian instruments, and just start making as much noise as I can at the base of this giant snowman in a different direction so that they hopefully split.
All right. So what I would like to measure the success of this is I would like our two sneaky boys to go ahead and roll me a prowl check, and you can add 2 extra dice.
Cool, thanks.
That's 2 6s then.
Okay, and Richard?
I got a 3, unfortunately. Can I
You
use a
can
hero point?
Yeah.
Does it add just 1 dice to the pool, or do I
No,
re-roll one?
with the hero points you can reroll
All of them, or just 1?
all of them.
Cool, thank you. 6.
A 6, absolutely. So yeah, I need Billie Jean and Lumpin as well to go ahead and roll me finesse skirmisher prowls to sort of get away from their distractions so that they can circle back. But Richard and Sawyer, you guys are able to make your way further into the junkyard.
Well, I have no pips in any of those. It'll be fine.
Good luck.
Thanks. I got a 4.
I'll throw a hero point die again.
Mhm.
We've got like 40 something hero points.
Yeah, you're not
Oh,
wanting
God.
for hero points right
yeah,
now.
I'll use one to throw another die. Right?
4.
That's how
No,
it
you
goes.
reroll.
Reroll it?
Reroll the whole thing, yeah. I got a 4.
Beautiful.
I got a 2.
I am, thank you.
It's going to take you guys a little longer, but you're going to be able to circle back around. Richard and Sawyer, what are you doing as you sort of move in?
What do we find as we start to move in? Like, as kind
Yeah.
of we're
You
able to
guys-
see what these figures have been clustering near. What's up?
Move to sort of the central area, and you manage to sneak up a junk pile that looks sort of down into this central chamber almost that's guarded by these large piles. And you see 5 Tesla coils in sort of an X pattern in a Faraday cage with a bunch of like old story technology from from your world. When Billie Jean gets there, she'll see chunks of her mech and her friend's mechs there. Just a whole bunch of old technology, and you see a scientist, as Richard envisioned, scrambling around inside the Faraday cage. Lightning is striking the central Tesla coil, and that is sort of shooting out to the 4 external ones. As this person is scrambling around getting things ready.
How good of a shot are you, Sawyer?
I'm an excellent shot.
Good. You try to shoot him. Is there anything on the Tesla coils that looks vulnerable?
Hey, they got panels on them that you could probably get at that would reveal some vulnerable equipment.
Cool.
Would it be possible to shoot the doctor while he's in the Faraday cage?
It would be really hard.
I mean, consider the fact that I do have the ability sharpshooter, which is that you can push yourself to do one of the following: make a ranged attack at an extreme distance beyond what's normal for the weapon, or unleash a barrage of rapid fire to suppress the enemy, and that this might fall somewhere in the middle there.
I can't say no to you.
Look at those
Go ahead
puppy
and
dog
mark your-
eyes.
Go ahead and mark your stress from pushing yourself and make your skirmish roll.
How many stress is that? Just as a reminder? 2. Okay. Cool.
Remember, you're only going to mark a
Fine.
trauma if you exceed your stress.
Cool. We're fine. That is a 5.
Well, I hope you're ready to succeed in a different way then. Because your shot rings true. It should ring true. But you hear a metallic clank as it makes contact with the doctor. And you see him whip around. And he's not wearing a mask. His face is gold. But he has a goatee, and he has slicked back black hair. And you see him sort of cock a smile. Richard, what are you doing?
I'm trying to head down to the Tesla coils to try and get something to be destroyed.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. If you want to go ahead and roll. If you like Tinker, you like Tinker.
No, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Got 2. Can I use a hero point?
You sure can.
Thank you. I think I got a 4. I can't read very well right now.
That's okay. 4 is a partial success. You managed to yank off one of the panels of the Faraday cage and get into the Tesla coils and yank off one of the panels there. And you are shown and presented the Tesla coils tasty inner wiring. As I will say that Lumpin and Billie Jean arrive with Sawyer up at the top of the junk mound.
That's after our distraction, I assume?
Mhm.
Okay. Whew, that was pretty fun, getting to blow stuff up.
Would you like to blow up more stuff? Because we have stuff that needs to be destroyed here, probably quickly.
Yes, but I'm out of dynamite. But we have coal and fire. If you don't mind.
Yeah, crack one off. You can use this. Unless you meant me as a whole.
No, absolutely not. Who do you
Okay.
think I am, Mr. Lestrade?
There was a look in your eye.
No. No. Plus I have these other pieces that you gave me earlier.
That's true. I have been gifting you.
They're mighty appreciated.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, she's going to look around and look for any sort of potentially explosive, like fluids that are coming out of any of this machinery, or,
Go ahead and make a Tinker check as you guys sort of move into the Faraday cage.
I'm good at tinker.
I'll help by also taking a look. So add a die. I think I have to take stress for that though.
Don't worry about it because I got a 6.
Okay.
Yeah, there's enough junk here that with the coal and an ignition, you could build an explosive. Richard, do you just yanking, just reaching in and pulling?
I am yanking.
Absolutely,
I'm
you reach
yanking
in,
at wires.
and you yank. Go ahead and give me a finesse roll.
Oh boy, howdy. Okay. Oh boy.
Or skirmish or prowl if you want.
Okay, I can do skirmish. I can actually do skirmish. Should I re-roll the skirmish roll because I did it for the other one?
Is it 2 dice either way?
No, it's 2 dice either way, but I take advantage on the other one.
You'll just take the highest on the other one instead of
All
the
right.
lowest.
I got like a 3.
Yeah, go ahead and take on 1 stress as this individual just pulls out a revolver as described by Billie Jean and shoots you.
Damn it.
I wouldn't touch that if I were you.
Wait, they pulled out Quinn's revolver?
No. The revolver that they had when they were trying to blow
Okay.
you up.
It's like, wait!
I got my gun. If I've already had it cocked, I'm not aiming it at them.
You're pointing it into the Tesla coil.
I'm looking at the Tesla coil, whatever the heck it is, whatever is soft enough to be blown to bits by a bullet.
Yeah, you can shoot into the core of this thing. This individual's going to put their fingers to their lips and whistle and begin to call back their minions. What do the rest of you do?
Taking an explosive.
Yeah, you make
Do we
your explosive.
see that happening with
Yeah.
Richard?
Richard's like down in the thick of it, this little setup.
I think Lumpin's gonna like slide down the trash mound and just start approaching this dude and being like and saying, "Hey, what's the plan here? Why don't you want him to touch that?" I'm just trying to draw his attention away from Richard and maybe get him monologuing.
Yeah, go ahead and make a command or a sway roll.
Would consort? Can I convince you that I'm consorting?
I suppose. I'll take consort.
I'll take a devil's bargain if anybody wants to offer one, just because I've been meaning to do. No, I'll spend a hero point.
The devil's bargain is you spend a hero point and re-roll.
4.
4. Absolutely delightful. The plan here is to leave. I'm sending everybody back from whence they came.
Back to their original stories?
Something like that.
You
I don't
mean
like
back
the
to death?
something like that. I don't know if I could hear that, but
You can. Richard, what was your skirmish roll?
I didn't roll that yet, actually.
Oh, please do.
Wait, yes, I did. I think I got a 4 or a 3. I don't remember.
A 4 is good. Go ahead and make a finesse roll as well.
Okay, 1 second.
It's just going to be a little explosion. Just
4.
a little bit. Okay,
4.
yeah. Go ahead and take on 1 stress as you're able to sort of move out of the way of the explosion just a little bit.
Got it.
Billie Jean, you set your explosion down. Go ahead and make me a finesse roll.
am I setting it down?
You throwing it?
I don't know what I'm doing. She's sitting there holding it. I think she's waiting for Sawyer to tell her what to do because it's like, well, I could chuck it and he could shoot it, or like, I don't know how she's rigged this up. Like, I don't know if she set up like a timer or anything. So I think she's waiting for directions because she doesn't want to make it explode while her 2 companions are down there too.
Is there a place that Billie Jean could throw the device that would cause enough damage but not put the other 2 in the blast radius?
You imagine hitting the top of the main Tesla coil would probably do the trick.
Okay. Then Sawyer is going to point directly at that and say, "How good's your throwing arm?"
Well, I'm gonna assume that's probably something, a role I'm not good at. Listen, she's not built for a lot of good things, okay? She's wrecker. That's what she does. What kind of role would that be?
Listen, this is wrecking. This is totally wrecking.
I'll let it be.
It sounds like wrecking to me. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
then
yeah,
yeah.
it'll wreck.
You know, I think I could probably get it up there. I did play some intramural football when I was like in high school.
Throw it out there. I'll make sure it goes off.
All right. She's gonna chuck this thing. God damn it. I'm gonna use a hero point because I got 3 3s and 1 1. Oh, that's better. 2 6s, a 3, and a 2.
2 6s.
Critical
6s.
success. It lands perfectly.
Yeah. Beautiful. I would like to shoot it.
Absolutely.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
2 6s. Let's go.
Right on. So, the following sequence of events happens. Richard, you manage to keep out of the way of an explosion within your little Tesla coil. That causes a surge which shoots up to the main Tesla coil and begins to sort of electrify behind this person. Billie Jean, you throw a nade. Sawyer, you shoot a nade and explodes on this powered on electrical coil.
So pretty.
And there's going to be a burst of power and electricity zipping through the junkyard. I need everyone to make me any kind of physical roll. Take your pick.
That's prowess, right? Or is that
Yep.
resolve? Okay.
Please work. 5.
Okay,
6.
6,
6,
5.
baby.
6, 5. Absolutely perfect. You guys see as the minions come back, they are hit with this sort of electromagnetic pulse, and their masks fall off, and they pass out. The guy is not hit with this. You see it sort of passes over them. They're wearing some kind of shielding, but the rest of you also manage to keep yourselves up and at them. As they sort of shake the ringing out of their ears. I knew this place would be a waste of time.
Where are you from?
Don't worry about it.
No, I'm
I can
worried
offer
about
you double whatever Lestrade is offering you.
it.
Honey. Like we need it.
Double poverty?
You want poverty? You want to
Yes.
be impoverished? That's what you're... I was working on
Yes.
doing that for you, just like as a fundamental thing, but I'm... What?
We will confuse him to
What about the rest of you?
I have arcane implements. Can I use them to try and take the metal off of him, or try to like make that speed up choking faster?
I'll say I was going to try to restrain him while he was confused. So
Yeah.
maybe we could work in tandem.
If you want to give a skirmish roll, and then what do you use in your arcane implements? Give you like a skirmish roll for you as well.
Cool, thank you. Amazing. Love that.
You can
gonna
both
mark-
add an extra die
Cool,
Okay.
thank you. Love that.
because you're working together.
I'll still mark the stress to push myself.
6.
6 is beautiful.
5.
Absolutely. You restrain him, and Richard, you manage to sort of peel the arcane, the bronze goldish metal off of him. With your arcane implements, you build a little hyper magnet, essentially. And revealed underneath is a rather dashing individual for the most part. As his eyes glaze over, and Lumpin is close enough to see that he sees every reality in them as he sort of settles on one. Hi, buddy, come here. Hey, Bubs. Come on.
Yeah.
Is that how he chooses one? He's like, hey, reality, come here, reality.
No, that's just my cat.
Hater.
Tater. Wait, oh, no, he's gone. He's leaving. He's... I'm gonna spend a villain point, even though I don't have to for this, because this is just how this was always going to end. But I'm gonna spend a villain point out of the kindness of my heart, as he will sort of disassemble himself atomically in this reality. As he moves on to the next, to try his evil hand. And you guys are left in a junkyard with unconscious but safe people, citizens of this realm, and a threat to this reality sated.
If we win, is that winning?
I think so. At least I hope so.
He did not, did he?
I don't think he
No.
died. I think he went somewhere else.
Does that mean they're get sent somewhere else?
Shame that we didn't get, the whole villain monologue.
As far as I see it, he's a
Would have
coward.
loved to hear exactly what they were doing.
Yeah, he didn't quite explain,
Outside
and it
of
made it
sending
sound
us
like they were
back.
written off. Yeah. Maybe
I think-
maybe they don't like all the characters or whatever we are coming together to have a little slice of happiness after we got the bad endings.
I think his reasons might have to remain inexplicable.
Is that what that means? Unknowable? Not knowing? Impossible knowing?
Impossible to explain.
This whole thing has been inexplicable.
You guys leave the junkyard and return to Lestrade, who's having a drink at the bar that Sawyer woke up in. Ah, I trust that you caught the man responsible.
Which is
Into
a very
justice.
That's a.
strong word for what happened.
We did.
But
we
it
did
is a
bring
word.
him.
Like inexplicable.
Will he be murdering anyone else?
No, not that I know.
Not here.
Not here.
Well, outside of here, it's not really my problem, is it?
No, is it? I don't know your jurisdiction.
My
You seem to talk
jurisdiction is
as if
here.
all of reality was your jurisdiction.
No, only when you're done. I've arranged for two separate living quarters for the both of you here in London. Sawyer, are you sure you didn't want anything else from me?
Nope. I just want to be sent back to where I came from.
You understand I'm sending you back to die, right?
What happens after we die? Like, if you send us back to point of death, what's the point in sending us back?
Well, because then you'll be dead. Your story will be over unless your reality has an afterlife.
Oh, so that varies.
I made my choice. I'm more than fine with being sent back to it.
At least you got a choice.
I can still edit your reality.
Whose?
You, Miss G.
Yeah, because one of my crewmates didn't seem to like me very much, and I feel like she may have intentionally locked my cockpit.
Well, I can unlock it. That's about as much as I can do, though, from here.
Well, but that doesn't bring Forge back, does it?
No, but for what it's worth, I think Forge had it coming. There are some realities
did.
where this song is quite the problem, and it's possible it's his fault.
Can I ask one more thing of you?
You could ask many things of me if you wanted.
There's a friend of mine. Last reality, I used to babysit her. I don't know if she made it out or
I can try and find out.
That sent me back.
You want to go back to find out?
I know I'm dying. I know I'll die. I just want to know if she'll be okay before I go back.
I can send you back for long enough to learn and then bring you back here. That way you don't have to die for it. Just sort of Xerox you in.
No. I'll take death as long as I know she's okay.
All right. Very well. Lumpen, you still interested in being poor?
Yes.
All right. Shall I write the Santa of this world? Or no?
He. I suppose so. He won't have had me tear up his not nice list, so he shouldn't be angry. It would be good to remember where I came from.
I'll see what I can do.
Lestrade, I also have another question for you.
Sure.
How did it come to be that you have the ability to influence other universes?
Not influence per se. There's only a certain number of occurrences wherein I'm allowed to pull you here or not. The influences are right before the moments of your death. And as long as something is already thinning the line between my reality and the rest of the multiverse.
And that's why you can edit Billie Jean's world or allow Richard to go back for long enough to find out the answer.
Just barely. Little circumstances that change the outcome of the story, just a little bit. But, of course, once Billie Jean survives, she's not going to have a bad ending anymore.
Not yet, but when you edit it, do we remember? Like, would I remember this? Would I remember that I was supposed to die? Or did die?
I'm afraid not, dear.
You know what? I want my original thing. Like, don't send me back. I'll wait here for Forge.
All right. So be it.
You can stay with me if you like.
Think we can go visit the dynamite factory?
I'm sure we can go blow up the dynamite factory.
No, we're going to go visit the dynamite factory.
Oh, yes. Visits.
Sawyer is just watching this, and he's been looking thoughtful, and you don't know if this exact exchange is what spurs this on. But he looks over at Inspector Lestrade and says, "Do you have a lot of problems here with factories blowing up, weird multiverse stuff, just the average murder?"
I'm happy to have a new case if you're interested.
And Sawyer nods and says, "You know, I was saying that I'd made my choice and it would be best if you just sent me back, but I have someone back there who I already disappointed quite a bit, and I think Elliot would think I did the same thing over again. That I was too scared to face myself and to face the mistakes that I had made and the people that I'd hurt. And I think that they would rather see me take ownership over that and maybe try to do some of the good I always said I would. So I'd like to stay.
You know what?
That is
we're-
very noble.
I think the same.
And we're still dead, though. Like, everyone else in our reality, like, we still died to them, right? Even...
Not technically. All of your deaths were so such that your bodies probably could not have been recovered, at least to my knowledge, or not by anyone that you know. So nobody will be any the wiser. As far as they know, you'll all be dead.
Edit to mine.
Sure.
Let me see if she was okay and then bring me back here. I'm not done doing.
Of course. Okay. And Lestrade will send you all on your way to finish your business, learn if people are okay, and then bring you all back to get started on some more work. Or just get started on being impoverished.
Poverty is working.
Or blowing up factories, like, don't forget that.
Yeah, no,
Right.
you blow up factories, you are filled to the brim with general malfeasance, and that's...
I feel like Lumpin introduces Billie Jean to firework, so when the dynamite factory goes up, it's very beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
You all begin to make your home in the bad ending Earth. Not a bad Earth, just the Earth where all the bad endings went. But you make a good ending together, which is delightful and fun. But that is where we're going to put a close on this lovely little tale of ours tonight. Thank you all so much for watching this delightfully hectic game of Blades in the Dark, starring my wonderful friends here. I will go ahead and give them an opportunity to reintroduce themselves. Let us know where we can find them before we head off until tonight at 7 Central to come back with Bastion Land. But why don't we go ahead and start with JD?
Sure. Hey, I am JD. You can find me on socials at JD Not Jason Dean. Today/tonight, I have been my returning character Sawyer from the Lancer miniseries, Stealing of the Heart. Boy, you can find me in a lot of places, most of them live from the apocalypse over the next week. That is my primary home. I am one of the storytellers, players, and admins over there, and I will be back there tomorrow night for recording of Academy H, our Masks Actual Play podcast, which is moving into the Season 1 finale. I'll be there as well on Monday for a season of Secrets and Shadows, our Regency-flavored Monster Hearts game, which JT is a player in. We are doing 2 special episodes where, as this is an 8-player 2-table game, we are combining players from several of the tables to cause maximum chaos. I will also be there for Cold Iron, our Changeling the Lost Soviet-Russian game, where we are trying to solve the murder of a scientist. And that is on Tuesday. And then I will be running Redacted, our psychological horror game, using a Powered by the Apocalypse system called Synchronicity that I created on Thursday. And on Friday, we'll be back for our usual season of Secrets and Shadows. So that's going to be my wild week for the next week.
All right, we're going to carry on from JD to Karish.
Hi, I'm Karisha. I make sure I was unmuted. You can find me on the socials as either Karish or Karish Valendar. I'm here on Twitch, on Twitter, and Blue Sky. I've been playing Billie Jean, call sign Hoarder, for y'all, which was my character from the Salvage Union one-shot. And she was fun to bring back. Where can you find me? I don't know where you can find me this upcoming week. Let's see. I have a recording tonight for a podcast that's going to hopefully be coming out early next year. It's a Dungeon World game. And let's see, tomorrow I'll be back here for Call of Cthulhu Recall Week, where Holly will be running. So I will be bringing back a different character tomorrow, a vastly different character. Let's see. Also next week I will be on Wednesday. I'm coming back here again for Turkey Hell, in which I'm bringing back my chaotic Taru, which is a chef, kobold chef. And we will be, I don't know what we're doing. It's Thanksgiving themed, so maybe fighting a turkey, but not fighting a turkey. That's pretty much what I got going on in the nearish future. So pretty much here. Just find me here, I guess.
All right, thank you so much. And we're going to slide on down to Flurp.
Hey everybody, I'm Skunkheart, pronouns Air. Yes, I said I would give a different one every time. I've been playing Lumpin' Peebles, my character from the Santa's Naughty List Holiday One-Shot PvP tournament. Coming up on Monday, I will be on Singularity Roleplay in the ongoing show Autumn, which is a Locust horror RPG. Playing a wonderful homeless little horrible person. And then on the 17th, which is not this hard, is that Friday? I think that's Friday. I will be back on Lost Caravan for a game called Viva la Queer Bar, in which we will be running a superhero queer bar. And I got really excited reading that rulebook because there's a flyer in the border of that rulebook that has my great-great-aunt's name in it. Because, yeah, it's amazing. Anyway, if you like what I do, please either donate to me or hire me. You can donate on Patreon at patreon.com/queermythopoeia, QUEERMYTHOPOEIA, or keep an eye on Start Playing Games, where I am under Kaleidoscope Eyes. You can find that on my Linktree. I will be posting very, very soon a Monster Hearts 2 game as the big game approaches between Tamed High and Poodlebrook Academy. I'm also running a kink culture centering Mage the Awakening game that's not on Start Playing, so you can not find me on my Linktree, linktr.ee/queermythopoeia, QUEERMYTHOPOEI. Thank you.
Thank you so much for playing with us today. And we're going to move from Flurp to Jelly.
Hello, everyone. It's me, your favorite person that is allergic to garlic. So you can find me everywhere online at Jellyfish Lines. Next Tuesday, I am playing on Zeal Zaddy in their Old Gods of Appalachia game. It's amazing. I play a little agender type dude who's just a little guy who likes Jesus a little much. He's very weird. I love him. He's Blorbo. And honestly, shit's going down. I love it. Also, if you want to hire me, or if you want to just, hire me, please. I love doing this. Jellyfish Lines at card.co, card with 2 R's, or you can contact me everywhere at Jellyfish Line.
And thank you also for playing tonight. You have been a delightful, wonderful cast, and I am JT or Jeet, whichever you prefer. I have been your GM tonight, running She Blinded Me with Science. You can find me all over the internet at WeebJeet, or on Threads now officially at Weeb_Jeet. You can find me back here tonight in a couple hours on Bastionland, starring our very own tech person, LC. Thank you for running tech, by the way. You can find me on Monday with JD in the first special table of a season of Secrets and Shadows. JD dropped us in a hole, and we're going to find out where that hole goes next Monday. You can find me on Lost Caravan's YouTube. Eventually, currently in production is a Mech Finder series starring Karish and is being run by Mech Finder's very own co-creator James of Eldritch Osiris Games. You can find me on High Shelf Collective back on the 29th running our game of Beacons of Farlight, which, coming in the new year, there are going to be 2 mini campaigns that I'm affectionately calling Beacon Bites. Just little breaks between the arcs to give our main cast a break that are going to be starring some very familiar faces and hopefully some new faces to me as I work on getting some casting requirements filled that I'm very excited to start messaging people about. And I'm not going to say anything particularly detailed about it, but I'm working on a very special project that I'm hoping to get up and running by the new year or in the new year that I've started messaging some people about. So keep an eye out for that as I work on a project of my very own that I'm very excited about. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for donating. If you donated, thank you for joining and supporting this wonderful cast. And thank you for being kind to each other.
Thank you for running.
In the way that, well, you know, it's the least I could do. Be kind, be good people, come back in a couple hours, and have a wonderful evening otherwise. I adore you all. As Hoop would say, be good people, do good things.